Hi there, everyone. My name is Mary, and today we're going to do a chair stretch class. It's a rather short class, only 30 minutes, and so I'm going to try to give you a full body experience without taking too long with any one particular stretch. I do want to point out that I have some limitations in my shoulders, so I may ask you to raise your arm over your head. You may not see me doing that, and I think that's just an example of how each of us needs to take care of our own bodies and make sure as you're doing. So I'm going to get my microphone and turn on the music right now. All right, let's start moving. We're going to start just with a very nice and slow flowing stretch. Just start moving with the music, but not really with the beat. Just nice and slow. And then swing your arms around and around again. Other way. Keep going. One more. And stop up here and bring them down. And bend the knees as you make big, deep shoulder circles. Other direction. And then bring those arms up and over and up and over. And then just bring them down here and do some nice, gentle figure eights. Just bending a little at the waist, whatever's comfortable for you. And then just one arm and leaning into one knee and back to the other. And then let's reach and pull. So really reach for something, grab it, and pull it back. One more time. Reach and pull. And then bring this arm down. Let it hang like it might fall right out of your shoulder socket without those muscles attached. Other way, just loosening it up. And bring this other arm over, back to our figure eights. Keep it moving. And let's go with just one arm. So you're leaning forward, bent knee, back knee, bent. Now this time reach, grab something, and pull. And reach. One more time. Reach and pull. And then come to the front and bring it up and down and up and down. Hold it here and just bend a little bit at the waist. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Bring it back. Hands in the front, palms up and lean back. And one more up here and down. And again. And once again, forward gently, palms up. And to the front. And out to the side. And one more. All right. So it should be nice and loose and a little bit warmed up. And we're going to move into our stretch. And I want to point out what we just did. If it's hard for you to move standing, done in the chair. So let's have a seat in our chair. I'm going to just adjust this just a moment. That will be better. All right. So sitting here, let's start with our upper torso. Always remembering to breathe We want to try to make our movements on the exhale. And very important to never ever hold your breath while you're stretching. So let's grab some air. You see my kitty wants to get in on the act here and come down. And we're going to do a seated airplane. Move, kitty, move, move, move. And what we're going to do is taking a nice breath, stretch up from our pelvis, take your hands to the back, palms forward as you lean forward with your torso. Now, you want to stretch your neck out, forward. You're not looking up, you should be looking at the floor, maybe 2 to 3 feet in front of you, and you're pushing your shoulder blades together with those arms. And we're going to release in a count of 2, 1, and exhale up. And just taking a nice breath. And now we're going to go back. You need to be sitting at the front of your chair, feet nice and flat on the floor. So taking a breath. And as you exhale, bring your arms up and lean your body back without touching the back of the chair. And hold this for as long as you can, up to about 10 seconds. We won't do it quite that long because we don't have time. But what we're doing here is working our abs, stretching our backs with our arms forward, and coming up in 2, 1, and exhale back into our neutral position. Now we're going to twist to the side, and what we want to do is take in a nice breath, and as we exhale, just gently move your arms around. You're moving just from your waist up, and the chair is an excellent tool here because it provides you an anchor. You can't see it, but I'm holding on to the back of my chair with my back hand. This front hand can press against this thigh. And you're looking straight ahead, wherever you ended up. Just go ahead and breathe. Feel that wonderful twist in your spine, stretching those large muscles in your back. And exhaling in back to neutral. Going to do the same thing in the other direction. So take in a breath and exhale as you move back. Again, using the chair as an anchor, pressing against that front leg with your hand that's in the front, and really sitting up nice and straight, feeling the stretch across your back, those beautiful big muscles. Releasing on the exhale and coming back here, back to neutral. Now we're going to stretch our lateral muscles and those between our ribs. So take in a nice breath. And as you exhale, slowly slide down. Again, only moving from the waist, keeping both sides of your bottom on the chair. This arm can go way up over your head if that works for you, or you can leave it here, or you can leave it down by your side. And reach for the floor by extending through your side that's stretching. And breathing, always breathing. Coming up in 2, 1, and exhale back to our neutral position. Take a resting breath. On the next exhale, slide down in the other direction. Again, arm up over your head. If you wish, on your shoulder is an option, and down at your side is yet another option. Always respect what your body tells you to do. Some movements we can accomplish with practice, and others may never be available to us, and so we just figure out accommodations. You're reaching for the floor, breathing, coming up in 2, 1, and exhale, and dropping down. And going back to our twist, we can do it as we did before with both feet flat on the floor, or we can move one foot over and cross here at the ankles, letting this leg fall, or cross here on the knee. So I will do it on my ankle this way, just to show you, and on my knee in the other direction. So taking a breath, and on the exhale, turn this way. And this should allow you to turn further. And we measure progress in millimeters. It's like a 1/4 inch is wonderful. And so we can't expect to get it all in one move. So staying here, anchoring yourself with that back hand, breathing. One, exhale back to neutral. And undo your twist if you use that. And now if you, on the other side, either feet flat on the floor, here or here. I'll demonstrate this. Taking a nice breath. And exhale around. Making sure you're keeping that back shoulder down. Again, the chair helping to anchor you can make that happen. Breathing the whole time. Pressing against that outer leg. Holding for 2, 1, and exhaling back to neutral. Untwisting if you had your legs twist. And we will call that good for our upper torso for today. And we're going to move on to our feet and then up our legs. So, checking out your position. You have a firm, straight back chair with no arms, and you're sitting at the front of that chair. And you need to have your feet flat on the floor, and every joint in your lower limbs should be at 90 degrees. So your feet are flat, ankles 90 degrees, knee is 90 degrees, hip is 90 degrees. So check it out. That means you don't have your feet back here or out here. Everything is nice and square. So going back to our feet, I want you to think of the position of your foot as a tripod. There's one point at the pinky toe, one point over at the great toe, and one on the heel. And you want to try to have all 3 of those points in contact with the inside of your shoe if you're wearing shoes, or the surface you're standing on if you're not wearing shoes. And make sure that gives you the most solid platform you can have. So now take your toes, and I like to do it with my hands also. It's good for the hands, and it also demonstrates what should be happening with toes that you can't see. So squeeze up those fingers into a fist, and you're doing the same thing with the toes. Squeezing, 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 and then fling them out. Fling out your toes and lay them down in your shoes. Let's do that one more time. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And fling. And slowly lay them down. Keep those toes wide apart. That's very challenging to do. So throughout the class and throughout the day, just check out your toes. Think, are they all scrunched up? Or am I letting them get too close? Try to keep them spread. All right. So let's just turn our feet out and in and out and in. I bet you feel this through your inner foot and your ankle. And in and then back to neutral or 90 degrees. Pick up one foot and place it on your ankle, or on top of your shoe on the other foot. And then let this leg fall open however it wants to. Notice, I did not move this leg. This one has to stay nice and solid, nice and steady, everything at 90 degrees. All right, so taking a breath. And as you exhale, lift up out of your pelvis, your whole torso, and bring it forward. So you're not bending at the waist, you're keeping your head lined up, and you're letting this inner leg, this leg that's bent, open as much as it wishes to stretch that inner thigh. And holding it here, you can put a hand on your inner thigh, never push on a joint. So you don't want to be touching your knee. Coming up in 2, 1, and exhale straight up and back to neutral. And for a second stretch, again, you can do it here, or if it's available to you, you can bring it all the way up here. So you're still sitting nice and tall, both sides of your bottom on the chair, taking a nice breath. And on the exhale, lift up out of your hips and forward. And you are going to feel a stretch. If you just move an inch, you're going to feel a stretch. So do whatever feels good, but do challenge yourself. And this back part of your hip on the side is going to thank you for it. Those muscles don't get stretched very often, and boy, do they do a lot of work for us. So you're holding it here, breathing. 2, 1, and exhale up. And then grip this knee, intertwine your fingers, and bring this knee up, squeezing against your body. You're still sitting tall. Circle that foot. And then point and flex, point and flex. One more time. And then release this leg, and then circle the whole leg. Just picture your hip joint being flexible and smooth and allowing you with that kind of movement. And then release your fingers, but slide them under your thigh, right above your knee, and flex your foot. And windshield wiper. Clean off that windshield. And then lift the leg up and down, out and in again, out and in, up and down, up and down. Bend your knee and place it on the floor. So moving on to our other leg, we're going to again pick up the foot, place it on top of our shoe at the ankle. Allow this leg to fall open and keep this one nice and solid and steady. So inhale and exhale forward. Again, if you wish, you can lean on this side, you can put your hand on the thigh. You could use the chair as an anchor on the other side over here. Make sure you're always doing this safely. Don't go too far. You don't want to overdo the stretch. Breathing. Coming up in 2, 1, and exhale. And release back to neutral. And let's do that Again, bringing this foot again here or up here, whichever you prefer, and just letting it open, keeping this foot nice and solid. Taking a breath, lift up, lean forward all the way from your hip joint, your pelvis, and breathe. And again, resting on that inner thigh if you like that added stretch. Talking to the muscles back here, telling them to relax. Tense muscles do not stretch, so we need to learn to relax our muscles, even if it's an unfamiliar move that we're asking them to make. And exhale up in 2, 1, and lift. And gripping this this leg under the knee, circle that foot, work the ankle, and point and flex, and squeeze it in, and release, and then rotate it in that hip socket, keeping your posture tall. And releasing, sliding under the thigh, and windshield wiper again. Other side of the window. And then we're going to go up and down and out and in, up and down, back here to neutral and lower. All right, so we're going to move now to stretching the front of our legs where our big quadricep muscles are. So I'd like everybody to turn sideways in their chair, and you can stay right here, dropping. You're near the front of your chair, but this hand in the back is holding on to the back of your chair or the seat, whichever works for you and feels the most comfortable, because you want to be safe. So again, we're doing our 90 degrees here. We're trying to do 90 degrees here. That may not be available to everyone. That's a pretty significant stretch. So you do the best you can, and we'll work toward getting it at 90 degrees. So what we're going to do is take in a breath. And as you exhale, reach forward. You can have the top of your foot flat on the floor, or you can be on your toe. So I'm on my toe, and this would be flat. Whichever works for you. Different feet like different positions. So you're reaching. Taking a breath and exhale and bring this arm back and up. Now, holding onto the chair, you're pushing your pelvis forward to get a really nice stretch in that hip flexor muscle and the quadricep muscle. And release. And one more time, go forward and release it back into a quadricep stretch. And come up to neutral. And while we're here, we're going to give our spine another nice little twist. So take it a breath and turn from the hips, or from your waist, just above your hips, and grab both sides of the back of the chair and just hold this, keeping your shoulders down, your chin up. And exhaling around in 2, 1, and coming around as you exhale. And heel toe in. Even just the heel toe in is really a good stretching workout for your feet. All right, we have the other side to do. So when you're ready, swing around, get comfortable near the front of your chair, drop this leg, trying to get to 90 degrees, but again, if that's not possible, that is fine. taking a breath, and as you exhale, reach it forward. Reach, 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 reach. Breathing. And exhale, coming back, push your pelvis forward. Feeling that stretch in your quadricep and your hip flexor. Make sure you're pushing your pelvis forward so that those muscles can get stretched. And exhale and bring it down. And on the next exhale, reach, holding, holding, holding. And exhaling up into a quadricep stretch. Coming back to the neutral in the side position, again, taking advantage of already being here. Take a breath in and turn toward the back of the chair. Breathing. For a count of 2, 1. Exhale around, feet wide, heel, toe, back to center. All right. So we should feel really nice and stretched out all the way from our feet to our shoulders. So let's take a breath and just work our hands a little bit. Do some motions in and out, fingers bending, circle your wrists other way, and then push them out here. And again, some nice deep shoulder circles other way. And then bringing them down, circle first one shoulder, then the other, and forward. Gotta get stretched in both directions. And then pausing here, just let your neck tilt, your head tilt over, elongating your neck. Again, you're sitting up nice and tall, using the chair as an anchor. And then turn your neck just a bit, about 45 degrees, looking down at the floor. Trying to stay nice and tall, nice and straight. And back to center. And come up. And exhaling over to the other side. Breathing. Looking to the floor, about 45 degrees. And back up to center. And one more stretch for our neck. Put your fingertips behind your head and look up. We're supporting our head so that we don't strain our necks. We do not want to let our heads drop back with any kind of force that could really injure your neck. And exhale up, release the hold, and tilt your chin down to your chest. Stretching the back of your neck and coming back up to neutral. And let's take in one more breath and down. And then just sit back in your chair for a moment and just take stock of how you feel. I would guess that your muscles probably feel a bit tired, maybe even a little bit sore, but I'm sure they feel good. And stretching is something that doesn't work miracles by doing it once. It's a repeated exercise. And if you can do some of these stretches every day or every other day, I think you're going to start to realize that you have less muscle pain, and it can really help with the flexibility and movement of your joints and certainly being flexible and being able to move without pain is really important for our personal well-being, but it also is a fall prevention issue. So please practice these stretches, and we'll be back later in the month with a full hour of stretching. So I hope to see you then. Thank you for joining me today.